we got so big that the NFL sent us a notice. And we're like, oh, man, the NFL, they're recognizing us. It's great. They basically said, we're going to sue you for everything you got.
No way.
You better take all this down.
All right, vamos. Welcome to episode 8 of Hear Me and Beer Me. If you aren't subscribed, you should be subscribed. So go ahead, go to that right circle on the right hand bottom corner, click it, hit subscribe, and you'll be up to speed with everything we've got going on at Hear Me and Beer Me. Today, we have a very special guest on. He is a sports multimedia reporter. He is a Bears beat reporter for CHGO Sports. And he's one half of his own podcast, Couples Coverage. You gotta hear him. You gotta beer him. Give it up for Nicholas Moreano.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no,
it's awesome
thank
being
you.
here.
Dude, I'm like over the moon that you're here because like I appreciate you reaching out since the beginning when this was going on. You know, you hit me up, you messaged me, and you said, hey, like, you know, if you ever need anything, I'll be here. And I didn't take it as like, you'll come on. I took it more as like, hey, if you have any questions, because I've done this for a while, let me know. And that meant so much to me, man. So I appreciate you even coming on now, you know?
Well, I mean, like, my parents literally live down the street from where you're at. So it's like, whenever you're seeing somebody kind of doing something out of their comfort zone, doing something on their own, it's like, yeah, I've done this for a while. I'm definitely going to reach out, but... You know, I'm always someone that if, you know, you need help or whatever, reach out, and definitely willing to do that. But I'm excited to be here, and I've seen what you've been doing with all the other episodes. They've been awesome, so I'm just honored that you wanted to invite me on.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And we were talking about it off camera that Nicholas is probably the first guest I have on here that's more comfortable, more around cameras than I am or that I've been, you know, so it's pretty cool to be like the other way around, you know. But how do you feel then being a guest on somewhere where you don't have to prep, you just kind of come in, be yourself, you know, kind of away from what you usually do or are used to doing?
Yeah, it's you know, we turned the tables here a little bit because I'm usually
right?
the one doing the interviews and interviewing players and doing things like that. But you know, I like being you know, interviewed as well. I've done it for like DePaul interviewed me, but I like just kind of sharing my story because it's not your traditional route. And like how you introduced me, I do get to do something that's pretty unique, and I do love talking about it. So it's something that I'm really comfortable with. But yeah, we've changed roles here.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
I like that.
Yeah, and that's why you're here, to share your story, talk about some of the things you do. But before we do that, I say we crack some of these bad boys open, huh?
Let's do it.
These are Ace pineapple ciders, craft ciders. I watched his podcast, Couples Coverage, that he does with his girlfriend, Stephanie. And they talked about these. And I thought, you know what? I've never tried them. Why don't I go ahead, go to Benny's, get, you know, a little pack of these and give them a go. So you got me. You got me.
Yeah, we got you. And I guess you're about to try here.
Let's do it.
Over here. But yeah, these are something that my girlfriend and I just found, and she's not big into beer, so ciders are her thing, and we just we're hooked on these. They have a bunch of different flavors too, but the Ace pineapple is definitely.
Yeah, I saw you guys say pineapple, and because I think these are similar probably to the Angry Orchards, right? Yeah. So I wanted to do apple maybe because, you know, it's something I'm familiar with, but they only had pineapple. So I thought, you know what? They said pineapple. They know what they're doing. Let's go pineapple. But cheers, man.
Cheers.
For you coming on.
Is there alcohol in that? I have no idea. I still don't know every time I try it, but...
They're really good.
They're delicious. They are. Love it.
They're Angry Orchard, but it's a little smoother than Angry Orchard.
Yeah.
I think. It's like less bitter, you know?
It was funny. I had one of the guys who covers the Bears for NBC Sports Chicago. He did some crazy scavenger hunt, and on it, they have to shotgun a bunch of beers.
Okay.
And he was like, Nick, because I got him onto Ace Pineapple as well. He's like, do they make these in a can version? Because if I'm doing this shotgunning, Ace Pineapples, that's going to be super easy.
Yeah, I could do that all day.
They do make them in the can version, but he didn't do it for his scavenger hunt. I don't know what he ended up shotgunning, but it would be a really easy beer to do that because, like you said, it goes down really smooth.
Yeah, it is really smooth. Usually when I shotgun, I do ultras because they're so light, and I feel like this is probably the next best thing to shot.
It's like it's glorified apple juice, but pineapple.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not a big pineapple fan like that, but this is really like it's not too strong with the pineapple. It's like you get like just like a tint of pineapple
for sure.
But anyways, we're here for you today, right? But I want to start with something different instead of talking about you first. All right, what do you think about Tyson Bagent?
Oh, Tyson Bagent, he's awesome. He's a really good dude. He performed really well in his first starting role
Division
against the
2
Raiders.
guy.
Division 2 guy. He's got the arm sleeve, got the tats. He had the look. If you ask my dad, he freaking loves Tyson Bagent.
Really?
He's hooked on.
He had the pregame and the postgame speeches too. Just everything, That always happens though. With I think it was Brock Purdy last year, where everything he did people loved, and now this week it's turning into the Bagent show where people are loving what he does. I'm excited to watch him Sunday against the Chargers and see what happens. Yeah,
I mean, look, if he can build off of his performance that he had against the Raiders and still distribute the football to his playmaker, it should be fun for the Bears. The thing is with Bears fans, they can never be happy, and it's like the Bears don't win a lot, and it's like people are fighting over, well, is Bagent better than Fields? Is Fields better than Bagent? Is he coming for the quarterback one spot? It's like, enjoy the victory, man.
Yeah, right?
There's no quarterback controversy. When Fields is healthy, he'll be the starting quarterback. But it's fun seeing a young guy go out there. And it's a great story. Division 2, going out there and winning an NFL football game. Not a lot of guys have done that.
No, and to win at home, the Bears after...
His family was there.
Yeah, so. He had like 60 people there or something, right? Who wouldn't do that, right?
Exactly.
If you thought you were never going to start an NFL game and you get to, coming from Division 2, I'm telling everybody, I'm telling my family in Mexico, like, hey guys, like whoever can come out here, please come out here and watch me, it's just, and his dad, isn't he like
he's a world champion arm wrestler. It's like
where
there's
did we
so
find
much
this family?
People. Exactly. The Bagent family is really cool. So, I mean, it's crazy because he may never this. It looks like he's going to start Sunday night against the Chargers, but after that, there's no certainty that he would play the rest of the season if Fields is healthy. So, like you said, you invite everybody It was funny. He said in his press conference, my paycheck the next week's going to look a little smaller because he has to go out and buy those tickets.
Oh, right.
It's not like the Bears are just giving you free tickets to invite everybody. So his gamely or his weekly paycheck's definitely going to look a little smaller after inviting all those people.
You know what? I didn't see that interview, but well worth it, right?
Yes.
I think that's well worth it. But also on the flip side of that, if you go out there and you play horribly and everyone is there, well, it's. But you know what? He's really confident, and I think rightfully so. But like you said, once Fields is back, that's our guy, and I pray that he plays the way he did the 2 weeks before he got hurt.
Yeah,
because if he plays like he played week 1 through 4. Like you said, Bears fans are never happy, and we're gonna have
for Bagent in the stands.
Yeah, they are. They are, man. That's insane. But Foreman looked really good, and I wanted your take on that. I specifically also didn't watch any of your coverage on CHGO just because I wanted to ask you what you thought. And I mean, I think we've all kind of got this similar idea, except those few fans that, like you said, are never happy. They're not gonna be happy, even if he goes out and does the same thing Sunday, because then they're going to be mad we're going back to Fields. So
yeah, no, it's like a never-ending just loophole of, people being mad about something. No one can ever be happy about a win. And I get it. The Bears have not won a lot recently. But, just enjoy this for what it was. They have a Chargers team that, honestly isn't very good. So we'll see what happens there on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And Fields has not been ruled out yet. I'm kind of hoping to see Fields in Sunday night versus Justin Herbert, but again, if it's Tyson Bagent, I'm looking forward to seeing how they can build off of that last win because he played a really effective game, and obviously a lot of Bears fans really enjoyed it and want to see more of it.
Yeah, this so we're filming. What's today? Today is October 24th. This isn't coming out until November 8th, right? So let's predict something right now. So we can look like the smartest guys, in Chicago. I'm gonna say, I don't even know what I want to predict. I'm gonna say Fields doesn't play. It's pointing towards him not playing, and I'm gonna say Bagent goes toe to toe with Herbert. And we have the ball with 2 minutes left to drive down and win the game. And he doesn't do it. But he looked really good all game.
Okay.
So then we're conflicted. That's what I think is going to happen.
Ooh, that'd be a very spicy way to go into the next week. Now,
yeah. Do we go back to Fields?
Yeah.
Or,
So the Bears will get to see their old friend Khalil Mack on the opposite side. Tyson Bagent will be facing him and the Chargers defense. I'll say that Bagent plays another game, starts this game. And you know what? The Bears are weird. Their defense is starting to actually become good.
Yeah.
As of late, again, they haven't played very good competition. But, this is really early on. I haven't done all my prep. But, hey, right now we're going to ride the Bears high and say they'll go into SoFi, which I'll be there for the game. And they'll pull out a crazy victory in the end. Very close game, 24-21.
You think so? 24-21. Bears W?
Now on what are we? We're on Tuesday? Yeah. We're going Bears victory right now.
You know what? I may have to bet correct score 24-21 and ride your prediction for the game. That would be insane if that actually happened. And then the week after that, I think
that's New Orleans Saints, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know what to make out of that game. Yep. But anyways, you do this all the time for work. So I kind of want to get away from that a little bit. I'm still going to touch on the Bears right now in this next thing that I want to talk about. But it's circling back to you. All right? So in 2017 at the NFL Combine, Trubisky famously said that he didn't want to be referred to as Mitch anymore. He wanted to go by Mitchell because that's what his mom wanted, right? That obviously didn't happen, right? It's interesting because growing up, I knew you as Nick, right? And you decided to roll with Nicholas, Is there a reason behind that? Or is it just something, was it your mom, like Mitch?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So I think early on, especially up until high school, even through college, all my friends would call me Nick. And that's what I preferred, that's what I wanted, even though my actual name is Nicholas.
Uh-huh.
And then once I got into, I would say, journalism or just kind of covering the Bears and, starting to get credentialed, go to these events and, when they would have to write my name on the credentials, I wanted to be referred to as Nicholas.
Right.
Everyone's going to call me Nick, but I just wanted to use my full, I guess, legal name.
Got it.
And, even my colleagues, obviously brothers, family members, friends, still call me Nick, but when I do get my credential to go to, whatever game it is, usually it says Nicholas. And, it's again, it goes back to, I don't know, just feeling like, hey, this is what I do professionally. Let me, quote unquote, feel and be like a professional. And Nicholas is my technically real name. So I guess that's where that comes from. But usually if I'm going back home or, hanging out with friends, they're going to say Nick.
Nick, right?
If they say Nicholas, it's like, wait, are we not cool anymore? What's going on here?
I thought we were friends, man.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, no, I like that though. I like that. Nicholas is a journalist. He's a reporter, for the Bears. Nick is he's like a fifth-year senior, He's still, in his darty phase, That's who Nick is. Nicholas is more, this guy, so.
Professional side, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's cool, and I always wondered that too, and I knew that was gonna be, the reason behind it, but I thought it's crazy that you have a similar situation to Mitch, which obviously didn't happen for him because he never went by Mitchell, No,
everyone still referred to him as Mitch, but obviously I think he had good intentions with that, but he's still Mitch Trubisky, man.
Yeah, I looked it up because I didn't remember exactly where he said it. So I saw it was a combine. And then I went into like this rabbit hole of like old tweets from that, you know, period in time. And man, it just hurt me. It hurt me because I saw these old tweets about they were ranking all the quarterbacks at the combine, and obviously they had Watson, then they had Mitch, then they had Mahomes. I'm just, and then I got reminded about, you know, what you see every year when the Bears play the Chiefs, and they talk about, you know, the Bears could have chosen Mahomes, and it's like, dude, we get it. You know, I think everyone knows. So yeah, I just went through this rabbit hole and kind of hurt myself in the end.
Yeah, like I was in Arrowhead for the Bears-Chiefs game where the Bears got blown out earlier this season. And
the Taylor game? Taylor game.
We knew that by, halftime, the game was over with. Mm-hmm. So I remember my girlfriend texting me. Some of my colleagues are like, go on Taylor Swift watch. I'm like, okay. So she's in the stadium for Travis Kelce. And then after the game, we go do the post-game locker room press conferences. Justin Fields is speaking. I'm in that press conference. Afterwards, we go upstairs to go write our stories. The guy who took the video of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce leaving the arena that went completely viral everywhere.
Right. The one where he's wearing like the
is it like double denim kind of thing?
Yeah, it looked like a curtain pattern almost. Yeah.
Well, he was literally standing right opposite of the press conference room, so he wasn't in the press conference. I know the guy. Jared Payton, Walter Payton's son, who took the video.
Oh, really? That's who it was?
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, well, he's there. Go up. And then literally 2 minutes later, this video goes out that he finds him. I'm like,
it just blows
damn it. Like, I should have gone up and wrote my story. I should have just stayed there, and I would have gotten the video, too. But that was the whole focus of that Kansas City trip. Once the Bears got blown out, it was, where's Swift at?
Yeah, and they even, on the broadcast, they switched games because they were getting blown out.
Yeah.
But I was surprised. I thought, honestly, you know, they're so focused on Taylor, I thought they were just going to leave it. Yeah. So it was to my surprise that they even switched it. And a bunch of Swifties were mad that they
took it off.
They did that. They changed the broadcast. I don't know what game they went to, but it's just, I thought it was going to be like a one-off kind of thing. Uh-huh. You know, her showing up at least. And I thought they were just going to go back to...
She's taking over the NFL. It's kind of crazy.
Right. Then the next game made sense. It was New York, you know?
Yeah.
But then she goes back on Sunday to Kansas City, and you start to think, you know, this is a prolonged thing. And you know what? That's cool for them. I personally like that it's bringing eyes to the NFL just because I like football so much. But, there are instances where it's like... I guess we can chill out.
Yeah, it's like, okay, Travis Kelce makes a catch over the middle. Let's pan over to Swift, see how she's reacted. She's going crazy, like, her boyfriend made a catch over the middle of the field. Like, imagine if that was like a high school, like, boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, that's going to happen. But he's been going off, which has been crazy.
When she's there?
Yeah, he's been... Like, if you have him in fantasy, you're looking really good with Travis Kelce. And
he was going first round, and I've never had him because he always goes first round, but I regret it every year, because then you look at the next quarterback after him or tight end after him, and it's not even close. It's like he's playing like a running back or a wide receiver.
Exactly,
he's not even a tight end. Going back to you, right? So obviously, I said at the top that we knew each other growing up. We weren't like close or anything by any means, but I think I even went to your parents' house once when I was younger, to like hang out with Dan or whatever. So you were obviously there, and then you guys went off to college, and we kind of went our separate ways. But how is it that you transitioned over to doing what you want to do? Was it something you always wanted to do, or did it kind of like come to you while you were in college and thought, this is actually something I want to do as a career, and what actually led you to pursue it in the way that you did?
Yeah, so when I went to the University of Iowa, it was basically because my uncle, he had went there. My cousins also went there. So then I was just destined to go there. Like, I didn't apply to anywhere else after high school. It was like, Iowa, if I get into Iowa, I'm in. If I don't, I didn't even apply anywhere. So I got in 2 days after applying. So I knew I was going to Iowa. I had no idea what I was going to do. I loved football. I played it all 4 years at high school. I was a big, like, if you knew me in high school, you probably knew me as, like, the biggest Bears fan. And that's what I was at the time. I was just a huge fan, lived and died with whatever the result was on Sunday with the Bears. But then as I got after my first year of college and did like general education classes, I kind of was like, what am I going to actually do? Like, I thought I was going to be a lawyer because my uncle who got me to go to Iowa, he was a lawyer.
Okay.
I took a couple of law classes, realized like I hated it. I wasn't good at it. Did the bare minimum to pass those classes. And so it just kind of happened randomly that I was at home, just got back from the gym, and I was turned on ESPN like I always would. And I saw, this is literally what it was. I saw a young guy talking about football on SportsCenter. And I'm like, who is that? And it was Field Yates, who does a bunch of football stuff now for ESPN. So I'm like, okay, he has an awesome job. He's talking about football. He's a young guy. I don't know why I kind of saw a little bit of myself in him.
Yeah, you could resonate with what he's doing.
And so literally I got on Twitter and I added him. I'm like, hey, Field, I just want to ask you a couple questions about how you got your dream job. If you have time, please get back to me. Not long after, I got a DM from Field Yates, like, here's my email, send me your questions, and I'll get back to you. So I send him a bunch of questions, how he got his dream job, what he did, and he sends me this long response, which I was really surprised that he did. And basically, in it, he said he was a scout for the Patriots for a little bit, but to kind of keep up with the game, he made his own blog, was writing about football, consistently did that. And he told me to do the same, but he had a message in there that I actually have tattooed right on my chest. He said, have a passion for what you do. And I love football. And once it ended my senior year, I always regretted not going to maybe a smaller college and trying to play. But I knew I was going to go to Iowa. But I'm like, how can I take that passion for football
and incorporate
it into a real job? And I'm going to be completely honest, I hated English. I was good at it, but I hated it in high school. And so then it turned out to me writing, instead of just watching the Bears play and probably lose, I was writing about it. And then I transitioned into doing my own 5-minute video recaps from my dorm room. Those 5-minute videos took me probably an hour to do. And now I can do that way, way quicker. But, I started doing that and then enrolled into the journalism school at Iowa. And that's where I kind of found, that maybe this could be a career for me. And once I found that, I'm like, well, I'm going to cover the Bears one day. There's no way that I'm not. I'm going to do whatever I can to put myself in a position to cover the Bears. So, I kept doing that. I got picked up by a bigger Bears blog at the time. We got together, keep consistently doing content. The 2018 season happens where the Bears are actually good, 12-4. We kind of are skyrocketing up people's radars. Like, oh, who are the Bears brothers / the Chicago Audible? Because at the time we were the Bears Bros. We got so big that the NFL sent us a notice. And we're like, oh, man, the NFL, they're recognizing us. It's great. They basically said, we're going to sue you for everything you got.
No way.
You better take all this down. The color's orange and blue. We own that. You can't have that on your website. You're selling merchandise with the Bears, which is a trademark phrase. We're like, holy crap, this turned out to being, I thought this was going to be great, to being the worst day of our lives. We end up changing it in a week to the Chicago Audible, calling it Audible like you would, in football, calling it Audible, changing the play, changing the name.
Literally called it Audible.
Called it Audible. And then, eventually kept doing our thing. And then CHGO comes calling, saying, we want to buy you guys out. You're going to be full-time. Nick, you're going to be our Bears beat reporter. You're going to go to games. You're going to be in the locker room, go to the press conference, write video, podcast, and all that. But really, it just randomly happened where I just turned on ESPN one day, reached out, and now Field Yates and I were pretty cool. Have his number. I met him quite a time. So, and he's been, instrumental for me to get to where I'm at today. But that's kind of how I got into it. But going into Iowa, I had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea what I wanted.
Wow, what a story.
I know.
You spoke it truly into existence, manifested it, whatever. You said that you have a tattoo of
have a
what
passion for what you do.
That's insane. And you're cool with him, so you've told him that? What does he think about that?
I don't think he even realized when he was writing it that that would be something that I held on to.
Yeah, that would stick out.
But
that
it
message.
definitely did.
That's awesome. What a guy to respond to you, Him being on ESPN already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure doing a bunch of things.
Probably gets a bunch of DMs all the time.
Right.
And it just happened to get him on the right random day in summer.
Yeah.
And I turned it on and saw him okay, let me shoot my shot, so you will.
Yeah.
And then I did, and he responded and sent me on a direction that I needed, because like I said, I had no idea what I wanted to do. There was no direction. When being a lawyer, I knew wasn't going to be for me. I was like, crap. I know I'm going back to Iowa, but what am I actually going to do? So I'm glad he did that, because it put me on a path to where I'm at today.
Yeah, wow, that's insane. That's a crazy story. To start off, and you know what? I think you'd make a great lawyer. You have a great voice. I don't know how you are at battling against people or whatever.
For sure, yeah.
But even then, what you're saying, if it's something that you weren't truly invested in doing and you really had no passion for it, I don't think that it's truly for you,
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people go through that, where it's like they're not truly sure what they want to do, and then you figure out you're doing all this towards something, and then you end up doing it and it's not even
exactly
remotely close to what you wanted to do. So the good thing about your story is you managed to actually find something that you have love for. Like you said, growing up, you played football all those years. No offense, we were really bad. The soccer team was really bad too. Yeah. Well, we were okay, but we never got anywhere, But that's are they better now?
I don't even know. I mean, now we're in a different conference. We're in 7A instead of 8A, but I couldn't even tell you, man. But yeah, it was fun playing, but it really did suck losing every single Saturday or Friday night. It was usually Saturday mornings, because we didn't have lights out.
Yeah, we didn't have lights out. No.
Yeah, it did get a little old, but I mean, I wouldn't have changed that experience for anything, because, like I said, I loved playing. I remember senior night, there was this one play where it had rained and it was pretty slippery out, and I had a pitch. Could I have gotten the ball? It was slightly behind, but I can vividly remember me dropping that football as a fumble, and the defense returning it, just because I knew that was one of my last moments out there. But loved it, and I do miss playing. I have football cleats, so I'm like, man, I'm around all the Bears players, and I'll joke around hey, I can still run routes. And okay.
Well, what did you play?
I was receiver.
Oh, okay.
Receiver, and then freshman year, I was the only one who can remember the plays, so they made me play quarterback at times, because no one could remember the plays in the huddle and relay it to all the other guys. But receiver at heart, still, and like I said, I think I can still run some routes.
Yeah, I was really late to getting to like football. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, because I didn't grow up around it. I grew up playing soccer. My dad only watches soccer. That's all really I was into. And then slowly on my own, I started to get really into football. So my biggest regret to this day is not being able to get into it sooner, so that I could have tried out for kicker or something. Yeah. I mean, I would have loved doing that in high school, The thing is, though, it's at the same time as the soccer season is, so maybe it wouldn't have worked out. But man, I think back, I'm like, I could have.
Hey, I would have been your holder. So I was the holder.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, a lot of us played, offense, defense, and special teams. But I was the holder, and we had. I don't know if you know Alex. I think he played goalie.
Oh yeah, Albaron, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the kicker, wasn't he?
So I was his holder, but I always was fearful. Man, this dude can easily kick my freaking finger off or something. So put it down, and
that's a tough job, though. I mean, when you watch it, you have to really, turn it around.
Laces out, and if the weather is bad, the ball is wet. I remember, dude, just please don't mess this up. If we got into field goal range, which again wasn't very often.
It was very rare.
But if we do, you better not mess this up. And one play, it was one of our few wins that we had that season. I think it was against Deerfield. The snap was off. So what we do is we yell out fire, fire, which is basically an audible type play where everyone runs routes, and I'm essentially
you have to throw it.
I have to throw it. I remember just fire, fire, running left. One of our guys got open in the back left corner. And there's this defensive guy, literally on my hip. I'm like, all right, I'm about to get messed up. But let's see if I can float this over the first guy and right into our guy's hand, and it ended up working. We ended up winning the game by I think 1 or 2 points. And, you know, I got interviewed after the game, and you know,
wow,
it's kind of funny.
Awesome.
Like, okay, now I do that. I'm the guy interviewing.
Yeah, now you're flipping the table on that too.
Exactly.
You know, just how I flipped it on you a little
exactly,
bit.
Exactly.
I want to go back to the Audible though, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember when you first started doing that, the Audible, and I thought that was cool. You know, I saw you were doing those 5-minute videos or whatever, recaps after the game, and I don't think a lot of people were doing that. You know, kind of taking their own stuff and putting it out there as much as people are now, or starting their own, you know, kind of thing. So the fact that you were on it so early speaks volume, and then it's even crazier that you ended up getting picked up by CHGO. Who was running that? Was it just you and your friend Will, who's also with CHGO now?
Yeah, so he was definitely the main one who started, who made it and picked me up. But that was what made us unique. So right after games, we were going live. We were going live on the podcast to kind of talk about whatever the result was. So it gave people a place to vent about their frustration or to celebrate the win with a big group of people.
Those 3 times a year.
Yeah, exactly. 3, maybe 4 if you got lucky. But, you know, that's what made us different, because there was a lot of Bears blogs or podcasts, actually not as much as there is today, but they were there, but they weren't breaking it down until maybe a day later. At that point, like, we were trying to be, you know, instant with everything we were doing, and, you know, you can let your emotions kind of speak for yourself in the beginning, and that's what made us unique. And we made a sense of like we made a community. Like, there were people in the chat that we would see consistently that, oh, there's a Rough Rider 47 talking to X, Y, and Z, whatever it may be. So people found a place that they can go to, and they knew, you know, our schedule consistently. We're going to do podcasts this day, this day, this day throughout the week. And then you know, build up that community. You build up that consistency. And then overall, like, the quality of content. Like, when I was doing that just as, like, it wasn't for fun, because I wanted to do it to eventually get somewhere. Right. But at that point, it wasn't my job.
Yeah, it was a hobby.
Exactly. So, but I wanted to get good at it. So when people wanted to hear, well, what does Nick have to think about this game? Like, I'm going to give you everything that I have learned throughout the week. I've watched the other team. I've read the other articles. Did everything that I could, so that when we always said we want to make you the most informed Bears fan. We still hold that motto today with CHGO, but like that's why I think people kept coming back to us. We were authentic. We were Bears fans too, so people understood that we weren't your traditional journalists. And now that with CHGO, I've kind of have to, you know, find that balance between where my fandom definitely isn't where it was when I was in high school. But like, if the Bears lose, it sucks for me. Like, it does suck. Like, you won't hear other journalists kind of say that, but yeah, that's all right, because CHGO, what's kind of cool about us is that the result matters. So if they win, you're going to celebrate it. If they lose, it's like, damn, that sucks. But, you know, it's been an interesting balance between finding that inner fan in me, but also, I went to journalism school at Iowa, and then got my master's at DePaul. Like, I know how to be objective. I know how to talk about this sport without coming off as like a complete meatball.
Yeah, got it. So, right, in a professional way.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but and then you got that special mix though, because you are a fan.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to turn it down a notch. Yeah, just a little bit.
You got to turn it down.
But you can't turn it down all the way when you're a fan, you know, in the way that you are.
Because look, we get, like, the thing is with sports, we get into, you know, whether it's the Bears or if you're a big Bulls fan, whatever, it's because you love it for some reason, right? Maybe you played it. Maybe there was a player that you resonated with. Like, there was a moment that just reeled you in.
Like,
Devin Hester was the guy that as soon as I saw him in 2006, Bears fan. Like, and that has never changed. My uncle got me into the Bears, took me into my first game. First game, Devin Hester takes one back against the Saints for a touchdown, a punt return. I was hooked. And it's funny because now I call him, like, you did this. I suffer every year and cover this team because you did this when I was young. There's going to be some ramifications because of this pain you put me through.
Yeah. He owes you. He's put you through that trauma, you know?
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah. Since 2006, since that loss in the Super Bowl. It just it's been one of these, you know?
Yeah.
But it's usually
averages going down.
Yeah. Having covered the Bears for as long as you have now and followed the Bears for as long as you have now, are you able to like keep up with other teams, other sports? How is it? Has it gotten harder now that it's your job to kind of be, you know, on the day-to-day with like, maybe you play fantasy and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, your main focus is the Bears. Is it harder to watch other teams unless, you know they're coming up or they're going to be a rival or they're in the division or something?
Yeah, it definitely is because on my Sundays are strictly the Bears.
Yeah.
Like I get to
not Red Zone.
Yeah, not Red Zone.
Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's such an awesome thing that they have. But again, like when I'm for let's say a typical Sunday at Soldier Field for a noon game, I'll be in Chicago for our tailgates that we do for CHGO. Probably be there around 7 or 8 a.m., hang out there for a little bit, walk to the stadium by 10:30, do my pregame hit, then the game's going on. After the game's over, win or loss, you're going down to the locker room, interviewing players. That's about maybe 3:15, 3:20-ish. Then you're going to talk to the head coach, the quarterback afterwards, get those quotes. Go back upstairs. Maybe now it's getting around 4 o'clock. I'll type up some of the takeaways from all the press conferences, all the interviews I did, hop on the CHGO Bears podcast, do my quick hit there. After that, I'll go down to the field, record what I do is like a Moreano minute, just a minute stand-up on the field for a video for social content, go back upstairs, then start to write my story, transcribing the interview, putting stuff on social media. By the time it's all done, I have no idea, honestly, what the other results of some of the games are. There are TVs, and occasionally I'll look up like, oh, wow, Detroit just blew a lead or Detroit got blown out last week against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see I just saw the final score. I had no idea really what was happening in any of the other games because you're just kind of locked into that.
Exactly.
One. And then by the time I get back, it's probably 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Kind of go back, rewatch the game really quickly again, take some other notes for Monday's press conference. What are you going to ask Coach Eberflus and some of the players? And then Tuesdays, like we're recording today, I'm rewatching the game again, but from the all-22 angle, so zoomed out, can see everything a little bit better.
Analyze all the plays.
Exactly. He's putting stuff out on social media. And then we're already in the cycle of Wednesday, Thursday for getting into like going to Hallis Hall consistently, interviewing players again, and unless the one time I get to catch up with other teams is when whoever the Bears are playing. So I'll go watch the game that they played the week before. Maybe I can get to 2 weeks prior to that week just so I can get a better understanding of everything that's going on. But it's definitely been tough to watch other games. Like my Sundays are not what they used to be. Like I would love sitting on the couch, watching all the football games and taking it in, getting food, hanging out with friends, beer, whatever. Like that's not it. And I do miss that at times, but like I can't beat what I'm doing. I love
exactly.
this.
Right. You love your job.
I love it.
It's what you set out to do since you said sophomore year.
Yeah, going into my sophomore year.
Got it. And now you're doing it. But I'm sure you enjoy like Monday or Thursday night games because or your Sundays still as hectic or not really?
Sundays then I get to enjoy those days. Perfect. I get to kind of just watch football. Well, sometimes my girlfriend wants to do something like, oh, can we like work around like this game or something? But you gotta make some sacrifices here and there. But yeah, when it's a Monday or Thursday night game, I can maybe enjoy football on that Sunday or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
When the Bears aren't playing.
Yeah, so this next game being Sunday night, what time are you out of there? What time are you leaving SoFi?
God, I have no idea, to be completely honest. The Thursday night game against Commanders, I didn't get out of their stadium until like 2 a.m.
Oh, but you know what? You're going to be on the West Coast.
So I am, so it's going to be a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are long days. Like I'm actually flying in that Sunday morning.
Okay.
And then I'll have about like 8 hours before the game actually starts. So maybe check around, kind of hang out until I have to be at the stadium. And I like to get there 3 hours early for whatever reason. I can walk around, maybe talk to some people. But yeah, like that Washington Commanders Thursday night football game. I think are they an hour ahead? I forget exactly what time zone.
I think they're an hour ahead.
I didn't get out of that stadium until 2 a.m. and Ubers we're like, nah, we're not going to get this guy at 2 a.m. What is he doing at the stadium? Like, I just want to go to my hotel. And then 3 hours after that, go back to Chicago and be ready for the press conferences. So,
yeah,
it's a quick turnaround.
Wow, what a life, though, man.
Yeah.
What a life. I mean, I even asked you before the season if you were still doing that because last year you were going to all these places and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Do you plan, like, with your girlfriend, like, okay, we're circling this, you're going to come with me, and we're going to go, here, whatever. Do you guys tend to do something like that?
Yeah, so we're still trying to see if we can do something for New Orleans. Uh-huh. We have a buddy who actually lives out there too, and my girlfriend can maybe watch the game with them while I'm out, actually covering the game. Right. If we go the day before, even 2 days, we can kind of hang out for a little bit. It hasn't quite worked out the way exactly how we wanted, but that is always something we think about. Like, okay, I know I'm going to be gone on the weekends, or 8 weekends out of the season. Then can we make it work out that you can come with me to somewhere and we can explore this area? Whatever you want to do during the game, you go do it, and then I have to be there.
Yeah, I got to clock in.
I got to clock in, and who knows when I'll be able to clock out, but we'll hang out afterwards for sure.
Yeah, and New Orleans, that's the week after this one, right?
Yep, yeah.
When is our bye week?
It isn't until I don't know why I'm thinking week 14, but that seems too late. It's later in the year.
That's late,
you know
though.
What? No, it's actually the week of my birthday. So that's actually nice. There's been games like last year. I think the Bears played the Packers on my birthday
on your
Sunday.
Wow.
So it's like crap. Okay, and the Bears obviously lose that game, but this week or that week of December 4th, they will not be playing. So we actually might look to go somewhere.
Cool.
Just for the weekend, just kind of get away.
Yeah, they definitely did that because of your birthday.
Oh, yeah,
the NFL...
You're like,
totally.
Give Nick a break.
Yeah, Nick deserves it. He had to work last year on his birthday. Let's give him this year off.
And that's the thing, too. It's like, I know a lot of people love watching games on Thanksgiving or Christmas Eve or, New Year's Eve. For me, it's like, damn it, they play in Detroit on New Year's Eve.
Oh, wow.
I have to be... Okay, thank you. My colleague actually went to that game. I'm like, you want to do a little switch here? He's like, I don't have plans on New Year's. I'll go to the game. I'm like, I appreciate you. But, like, that kind of sucks. Like, on Christmas Eve, it will be Bears-Cardinals, a 3:15 game. Those teams may have a collective, 6 wins of the season at that point. Yeah, but I'll be there. I'll be at Soldier Field. So,
are you going anywhere these holidays? We don't play Thanksgiving.
No, don't play Thanksgiving. And then, like I said, Christmas Eve will be the Cardinals. I'll be here, though. So at least, maybe
at least you're here, though.
I can get back. And then New Year's, I'm trying to think. Maybe they're still in Chicago. I think, they're in Chicago. So I think I can make it work. But yeah, it panned out this year where no big holidays landed on a Bears game. I think every holiday the Bears were playing last year outside of Thanksgiving. But no, did they play Thanksgiving? I don't know. The Bears and Lions always end up playing at Thanksgiving.
I think they did play the Lions last year. No,
they may have been a game where Justin Fields got hurt or injured. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But
I want to get into though, the podcast that you do with your girlfriend, couples coverage, being so different from what you ordinarily do. It's more of a podcast. You guys talk about. I wouldn't say your relationship. I would just say relationships in general. Mm-hmm. But it's something that I feel whether you're in a relationship or not, it's something you can enjoy, and kind of take away things from. I've caught myself watching you guys. And I feel like the Spider-Man meme sometimes between us. Yeah, like when you say something, so I watch it at work, right? And I have it on my phone, like on YouTube, right? But I'm sometimes just listening because I'm working. And, sometimes you'll say something and I immediately grab it and I'm like, let me watch this. Because it just reminds me of stuff that happens with me and my girlfriend. And I don't know if it's because we're the same, kind of in the same age group or whatever. But there's just a lot of stuff that I take away and I'm like, I feel that. Or I've been there, so it's kind of interesting. But back to my question, how do you feel doing it, that it's so different from your ordinary job? with CHGO.
Yeah. Well, one, appreciate you for listening, and that's exactly why we do it. But it was like it was a bit of a learning curve, for both of us. And like I had been podcasting and doing that kind of stuff for 7-8 years, but it's like, now do it, but don't talk about the Bears. Like, wait, what? Like, how do I do that? But it was something that we had talked about, and it was like right around the time that you had started everything here. We're like, we want to start a podcast. How can we do it? And then we were talking about it, and then I'm like, within like a 2-day span, I'm like, all right, let's buy this off of Amazon. Let me hook up this mic. I know what we're doing. You use your MacBook. Boom, and we set everything up. But it's been awesome. Like, this allows us, it gives us at least one day out of the week for an hour, maybe a little bit longer, to kind of put our phones away, just be in the moment, thinking of, discussing the topics that we had discussed, and put it out there. And just, be ourselves and talk like we normally would, but we just have, just like you set up some lights, a camera, and some microphones, and get to share that. But it's been great, and I think Stephanie's really enjoyed it. Obviously, I've really enjoyed it, and it just allows me to do something a little different that's outside of football, but it allows us to just spend some time together. Because like we were kind of discussing with my other job, it does take a lot of time away from just what we can do together, because it's just always so constant. Everything can be happening all at once, but it allows us to just hang out and talk about things and put it out there. And whether it's like 10 people listening or who knows how many, it's like we just enjoy doing it. And she loves doing like the thumbnails for it and making the social clips. Like, she's like our social media content producer over there. And then I'll like edit things afterwards because I'm just used to it. So it's been really cool, and I'm really glad that we just said, let's just do it. Let's go out there and do it. And I asked one of my guys at CHGO, can you make some cover art for us? He's like, absolutely. So we got that. I asked some other people some pointers on things, and boom, like, I think actually we're recording this on Tuesday. We'll record ours probably tomorrow on Wednesday and put it out.
Put it out the next day.
It's been really fun though.
Watching you guys is cool because it's like I do know them, but I don't really know them. But it's like we're kind of sharing like like a moment together. Like, sure. Okay, like I know what and I'm sure, like you said, you guys spend time together while you do it. I'm sure coming up with the topics for like whatever you guys do, because mine's different. I kind of rely on the guest to navigate the topic, because it's whatever they're doing. But you guys come up with the topics. I'm sure that's cool to come up with together.
That's also a fun process, just finding, well, what could we talk about this week? And, it's going to be Halloween week. Can we tie in something that's timely and then incorporate some other parts to it and, get into maybe a more serious conversation for one episode? One, we just highlight some of our biggest moments when we were from our childhood or something like that. So something really, I guess, playful in a way, but still something that you can learn some insight about us and like, oh, what's a moment that stands out to me from my childhood, like as you're listening. But yeah, so we really do have fun with it. And if there will be times where I think we can get into more of the serious conversations, because those are also interesting to listen to as well. And you can see how we navigate maybe the tougher times in a relationship, because no matter what, everybody goes through that.
Exactly.
So it's like it can be, therapeutic for other people, or just give, listeners an idea of how to go about something if they're kind of going through a similar situation or, may experience it in the future. You never know. But yeah, we like to, again, have fun with it. But if we can provide some insight on how to do things, like we've been together for now 4 years, so it hasn't been crazy long, but we know what kind of works, what doesn't within our relationship, and just like to share.
Right, and I commend you guys for sharing that, because you do have to get a little bit, like you said, you could keep it a little lighthearted on some episodes, but in some you really do go into, in depth. You kind of, pull the curtain back a little bit more and open up to who you guys really are, and like not necessarily what you guys are going through, but kind of how you work together, as a team, because you're co-workers too, right? Like you guys are obviously dating, but you guys are co-workers, so you guys have to, find that aspect of it and make it work as well, which is crazy. I've had Jasmine on here a couple times. but it's not, it's not an every week thing, and it's not, we're like kind of showing who we are. It's more like, a little different. But I can see how it can get probably like a little harder to do like weekly, but as long as you guys are having fun with it, it's awesome, and it shows through the screen. Like I said, but when I'm I'm listening, but I'll watch some parts, right? Whatever. It's weird. I told you earlier that I don't like listening to stuff. I really only watch on YouTube, but I really don't watch 80% of the time because I'm at work. But it's just, even if there's an audio version of the YouTube video, I'll still go to YouTube for whatever reason, even though I'm listening. Is that weird?
No, it's not weird. I think that for some people, like a lot of people will listen to like our CHGO Bears podcast while they're working. So we always get messages all the time like, hey, just listen to the last episode while I was mowing the lawn. So it's not like you're watching and mowing the lawn. Those lines got to be super messed up if you were. But I think that it definitely makes sense depending on where you're at. If you're at home, like you, I need to watch the video. I like watching the video, seeing like the facial reactions, how they're saying things. Just maybe the setup I want to see, whatever it may be. Like, that's just how I consume content. But if you're on the go, like, I completely get just listening to the audio version and just consuming content that way. And, I've come to realize doing, all the different podcasts I do and video, just all the content in general, like, people consume stuff in a variety of different ways depending on what their lifestyle is. So you just got to be almost aware of that when, like, sometimes I'll be doing what I think is only a video podcast, but it does go on Spotify, iTunes, all those things. And you just got to make sure when you're even saying things, you enunciate correctly so that if you're not watching, you hear exactly what, I'm trying to say. I like to, when I'm making a point about the Bears or whatever, it's like, here's my point, like raising your voice just to make sure, like, this is what I'm trying to hit home. Like, sometimes I forget about those things because I'm like, oh, everyone just watches the video. So that this certain topic I'm talking about is important. Well, the listeners don't always get that if you don't present it that way. So
exactly.
It's something that you got to always be cognizant of as you're making content.
Yeah, but that's crazy too, because I feel like the CHGO, like, that whole world being so different from the other world. Do you take some of what you do with CHGO and like put it into what you're doing with couples coverage? Like, do you have a lot of those pointers that you give to Stephanie, maybe even like, oh, hey, we kind of do it this way, but then you question too, you're like, wait, but does it work in this world? Because it's like two separate things that you're kind of navigating.
No, it's a good point. I think how we even do the intro, that's something that I picked up from Bears shows. Welcome to another episode of Couples Coverage. We used to do welcome to another episode of the Chicago Audible. Like, I have that, I think, that can't get out of my brain. So that's like, Stephanie, do you want to do the intro? Because I know how I'm going to do it. But there are definitely aspects just from being doing podcasts for a while, like, hey, make sure, when we're talking, like, let's just look at the mic a little bit because it's how it, picks it up a little bit better. But I think there are definitely things I take from all the years of doing Bears content, how I want to present something, and it does show in couples coverage. That's just who I am, how I kind of do things, how I operate. But it's just the topics are completely different. I can't present the stats on how a relationship works. Well, a third down they did this. Well, it's like, but that's not how this works. So it's a different type of presenting information without using the stuff that I'm really used to using. So it's you take bits and pieces as you would with, like, I think any past experience, and then you adapt them to the new situation that you're in, right? So I definitely think that some of the stuff has rolled over, but I think I need to start doing different things, a little bit more different things too. Just so, again, it's a different medium, or not different medium, but a whole different conversation. Make it your own and just kind of do it your way, and that's kind of, I think, what we're still trying to find out now that we're going into, I believe it's episode 14, but I guess I'll find out when I start the editing tomorrow.
Yeah, that was fast, right?
Yeah,
that flew by. I feel like it was just yesterday that I saw you guys posting that you were gonna do a podcast, and I thought, wow, that's so cool. And here you are 14 episodes later, and I'm sure you almost felt the same with your media career. It was like one moment you're with Chicago, you're doing, the Bears Bros getting sued by the NFL, and the next minute, you're with CHGO doing what you do now, which is man, like I give you a lot of props for that. Aside from like it's great that they picked you guys up. I think you do a great job though, regardless of whatever. Like doing that and presenting the Bears in a way that I think at least is a little different.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you're serious about what you're doing, but you also incorporate a lot of your own personality into it, and I think that stems from how much of a Bears fan you are. I think it's just you can turn it back a little bit, but not all the way when you love a team as bad as the Chicago Bears.
No, yeah, and I think that's what makes us cool at CHGO. Like, obviously, we're gonna give you great content, but we're gonna do it in a fun. We're gonna make following, like you said, this bad team somewhat fun, right?
Yeah.
Let's have some fun along the way with the few victories that they get. So if it's coming across that way, it's exactly what we want to come across, because obviously we take our jobs very seriously, but it is football, right? It's a kid's game, and I think that should be a part of how people consume our content. Like this can be fun even in the losses, but when they win, you know exactly where you're going to be once you want to celebrate and hang out.
Oh yeah. I saw one of your colleagues one day, how you were just explaining now, that you write all your notes after the game or from the press conference or whatever, and he was astonished that you write all them down. I think that might have been like a week or two, month or two ago, but he was like, wait, you were writing all this by hand? And you're like, yeah, that's how I, take my notes or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was just blown away by it. But also, I discovered that you do that. I didn't think that either. I thought maybe you just record it on your phone or whatever, and it's just the way that you consume that. But no, you're like working your tail off, man. Which is,
for sure.
Which is sick, man. And
thank you so much.
Keep killing it, dude. Honestly, keep killing it. And like I said, thank you so much for coming on. It means a lot, dude. Like honestly, that you came on. And, hopefully you'll keep killing it, doing what you do.
Thank you.
Not only just with CHGO, which you guys should all follow. If you don't already follow Nicholas Moreano on all social platforms, follow CHGO Sports, follow Couples Coverage. You guys are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Tune into their episode. Well, this isn't coming out till November 8th, so you're going to tune into episode 16. You guys have to tune into.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You got to. But once again, man, thank you for coming on, and I appreciate it, man. Keep killing it. Keep doing what you do.
Appreciate you for having me. And again, you're doing awesome stuff here. Like I said, I'm honored to be on here. It's been great, and you keep doing your thing too, man. I tune in as well, and it's awesome seeing again people venture out, do something that they haven't done. Look at this. I mean, this is an awesome setup, and you're doing your thing. So appreciate you for having me on.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. Let's how much?
I have a little bit left here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just chug one for the one time.